All in Sports Network. We love sports.
It is Tuesday, November 18th, right here on your daily fix for all things Texas Longhorns. I'm Tanner Carlson. That is Jake Jimerson, and this is All In Horns presented to you by Rogue Sports Network. Today's episode, where there's smoke, is there fire? Steve Sarkisian rumors beginning to circulate yet again. The latest video coming from Desmond Howard on social media, specifically X, the Everything app. Everything happens on X, where he says he wouldn't be surprised if there was, quote, a mutual parting of ways between Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns. And then we also have a couple of recruiting updates, not only on the football field, but also on the basketball court as well. And so we're going to dive into all of that today. Again, I'm Tanner Carlson. That is Jake Jimerson. Jake, amid the rumors of Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorn athletic department, quote, mutually parting ways as a potential this offseason, I would think that would lean more towards NFL opportunities and not just I'm leaving for another college program.
Yeah. I mean, the ultimate thing that would hurt is him leaving to LSU or Florida and then he would win a national title there. And
yeah, I mean, you could find me in a dark, cold room, extremely depressed, not coming out, and just for months. I would maybe not even watch next football season.
Going to the Giants would hurt a lot too, just as Cowboy fans, but you could at least understand it more of like he just wanted to go to the NFL. But
yeah,
a lot of people are, of course, all the people that want Sark gone are all of a sudden not wanting him gone and freaking out about it. And I don't know. I can't keep up with what the fan base wants and doesn't want. But what's concerning to me is this now two separate people. And Desmond Howard isn't exactly just a click. This isn't First Take. He's not just a clickbait artist. And so that kind of concerns me that Desmond Howard of all people is coming out and saying this. And just looking at like all the insiders on different websites for Texas, and they all kind of get upset at this, but they also don't I haven't seen anyone just go, yeah, this isn't true.
Yeah.
And so that concerns me. And so it's just at some point,
Jake, the rumors have been there for the last 2 years now. I mean,
but this is the most it's been of like seeming like there's a chance.
That's it. Going back to the Rossini report, I think they were more upset that the news got leaked in general, not the fact that it was and the timing of the leak, not necessarily that the information that was leaked was false. That's my take on it.
Though there were reports I felt like when the Rossini report came out, I saw more of insiders being like, this is not true. Whereas when I saw this come out now, I don't see as many people just going, this is completely not true.
I will say this, though, the mutual parting of ways things kind of, it doesn't ring true to me in terms of like the Texas athletic department would also just like, I don't see Chris Del Conte just being like, oh yeah, we're going to get rid of
unless the donor or unless the booster base is truly just, which if the booster base is truly just like up in arms and they push Sark out, who the hell would want to take this job?
Yeah,
he's the only coach to make back-to-back playoffs the last 2 years. If they made it this year, he would be the only coach to make it 3 times. Or obviously, that's probably not going to happen. But if he gets pushed out after that, I would never in a million years want to coach. For your job security would be complete. I mean, just nothing.
I would also have a different perspective on this athletic department as a whole with Chris Del Conte to be complete. If he allowed that to just be like, well, let's just go ahead and mutually part ways. Sark, you're free to go do whatever you want to go do. Now, again, if it was Sark saying, thank you for the opportunity, a dream to coach at a university like this, and it elevated me to a platform to coach in the NFL, something that I've always wanted to do, and I can't pass up an opportunity that may never come my way ever again if I pass up on it now. I couldn't fault him for doing that, and it's obviously not really a decision for the Texas athletic department to make that choice for him either. Like, they can't really do anything about that. If they were just like, yeah, no, we're good, we're going to move on from Sark, and Sark was like, yeah, okay, cool, I'll go my separate way too. and then ended up going to LSU or something, I don't know if I could ever look at this athletic department the same way, with the same respect, and just with the idea that they are not like Chris Delconte is this knowledgeable, just runs a perfectly clean athletic department. That part to me doesn't ring true. Like I don't believe that would happen that way.
No, I don't believe it would happen that way either. Maybe a mutual parting of ways could mean not making, Sark pay essentially a buyout back to Texas to go pursue the NFL. Maybe that could be the mutual part. I don't know, and maybe I'm just grasping at straws there, but I think both of us are disappointed with how this season has gone, because I think we both know their record could be worse very easily. Neither one of us are, like 0% of me wants Sarkisian gone. I think there are realistic coaches that you could actually get that would be either a side grade or maybe you could argue as a slight upgrade. I think it's one. I think it's Marcus Freeman. That's it. That's the list.
Yep. Yeah.
I
agree with
Kiffin
that.
is just a side grade or downgrade.
Lane Kiffin is a downgrade, not a side grade. He's yet to even make a playoff appearance.
And I don't think his personality would work well at Texas.
Lane Kiffin has not made not only not a playoff appearance, but he's also not made an SEC championship appearance. Sark has won a Big 12 championship and also made an SEC championship.
And people will argue that it's because it's Ole Miss. That team last year, Ole Miss had, was just as talented as Texas was last year.
All they had to do all they had to do is beat Florida or Kentucky.
They lost both those games.
It was or. Yeah. So it wasn't like same thing with we also see the Oregon Dan Lanning coach. His name pops up. Jake, what has Dan Lanning done? He's never he won a Big Ten championship. I'll give him that last year. But they went undefeated into the college football playoffs, and he's never won a college
and
football
they lost
playoff
and they
game.
lost by what, 40 something
in
the playoff.
Got absolutely obliterated. And I don't see them making a deep run this year either.
No, if they make the playoff, they may lose to USC this weekend and potentially be essentially out of the playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lanning doesn't do anything for me. Literally, there's one name that would leave me as excited about the football program as I am with Sarkisian at the helm. Realistic. Sure, people go out there and go, which, by the way, Nick Saban is not a name I want either. I don't want a dude who may be coming back just to coach for 3 years. And like Nick Saban makes no sense to come back. He's old. Like, it's a different college football world than when he was there. It makes no sense. That
he didn't
name does
like
nothing
the way
for me.
he didn't like the way and doesn't like the way college football is currently being operated with NIL and stuff. That's one of the big factors as to why he retired in the first place. He's not going to want to come back to that.
Yeah, so that name doesn't do anything for me either. Even if they got him, I don't care what the whole Texas fan base would just be calling him washed year one when they lose 3 games. Like that's all that would happen. Dan Lanning doesn't do anything for me, so it's literally just like you're not getting Kirby Smart, you're not getting Ryan Day, so you would be basically a one-man search and just trying to throw all your money at Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, or you try to get an NFL guy to come down, and I don't necessarily think that always makes a great transition from NFL down to college.
No, who?
Jake, here's my thing. You got maybe a couple options at coordinators, but I don't think Matt Patricia is just some great recruiter, can run a program. I think he's a good coordinator.
I don't want a defensive-minded head coach either.
Yeah. So Patricia's put on an all-time great season at Ohio State, but I don't think that's an option really. You might have a Joe Brady at offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, and then maybe
I hate getting someone with a lack of head coach experience, especially for college.
If it's out there, And I don't like it. Trust me, I don't like it. But again, this is just kind of branching out to other options that haven't been named. Chip Kelly, who's offensive coordinator right now in the NFL. I don't think I love that either.
Yeah. No. Oh no. I don't love going out and getting Chip Kelly. Yeah. I mean, it would just be the timing of it too. It would just be a complete disaster for the football program. And a disaster that'd probably take years to come back from. So,
well, and you're probably going to get a lot of transfers at that point too. I mean, your roster is going to be gutted.
Yeah. So, I don't think any of us want to restart that. And I'm not a person who just thinks Texas wants Marcus Freeman. They're going to go get him. All these colleges have ridiculous money. You're not getting Curt Cignetti from Indiana. I mean, Curt Cignetti, I guess, would be another name that people will throw out there. But my thing is just, you're not going to get Cignetti. Because now I don't think people realize like how much money you're having to spend on rosters now. Like boosters, like the people who fund the NIL department for Texas are the same people who fund a new football coach and all this different things. They're not going to want to go to Indiana and pay this ridiculous buyout to get Curt Cignetti. Get into a bidding war with Notre Dame, who has plenty of money, and football is by far the main sport they care about. And they're going to funnel all their money into it.
And lacrosse.
Yeah, which that doesn't cost that much. So, yeah, I mean, you can sit there and go, well, we'll just go and get Marcus Freeman. All the people who are saying that are not the people who write the checks.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And you can sit there and criticize things about Sarkisian this year. That's fair. But if you want him gone because of one bad season, which, by the way, would have been a really good season 5 years ago for Texas, you're crazy and you're wrong.
Imagine if Sark had this season in year one and not 5 and 8 or whatever.
Yeah, this would have 5 and 7. Yeah, this would have been. And people go, "Well, it's year 5." This isn't the NFL. College isn't like they're in year 5. That means they should be amazing. That's not how roster cycles and roster churn works.
Technically, year 5 would also just regularly be a down year because you've gone through one recruiting, like graduating cycle.
And this year shouldn't have been this bad because Sark made a mistake in the offseason. He trusted Kyle Flood. He trusted others that they didn't need to go out and get certain pieces for the roster in the portal. And that was wrong. Like, they were wrong. And I think Sarkisian has learned that, and I'm sure they're going to learn their lesson, and we're going to see a more aggressive portal cycle from Texas. And we're probably going to see some changes at the assistant coaching positions. And that's good. You know, I think Sarkisian's someone who I think learns from his, learns from lessons, and I think he will. And I think Texas will be just fine long-term. The only situation where I see Texas not being fine long-term is if they lose Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, let's go ahead hear from our sponsors at Underdog, and then we come back. We'll talk a little bit about how our Underdog entry, all-in horns entry played out. Jake, thanks a lot. When we come back. Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code HORNS to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code HORNS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks. Win money. Must be 18 and up. 19 and up in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and up, and in Colorado for some games. 21 and up in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And must be present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. All right, Jake, the all-in horns entry for the week. We went 2 for 2 with our picks. We got 2 correct. We got 2 wrong. I'm curious which ones you got right.
I'm just gonna stay silent this whole segment. You're already lucky you didn't get your number banned or blocked.
By the way, you're on a blocking streak. You're on a big blocking kick right now. You're trying to block me from the camera right now.
Yeah, I'm blocking out the haters. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, he's on a big blocking kick. But we had Taylon Green higher than a rushing or receiving touchdown. That hit. We had Devon Achane, who had higher than 81.5 rushing yards. That also hit. Then we also had Jeremiah Love higher than 1.5 rushing touchdown. That did not hit. And then we had Alabama 3.5 point spread.
Oh, sorry, my headset fell off. I can't hear you.
That also did not hit. I happen to have the Taylon Green, Devon Achane picks. Jake ended up having the Love and Bama picks. So we will hit the old dusty trail again this week, and we will try to win at least one all-in horns entry this football season.
We started doing it more than halfway through.
Yeah, we started doing it at week 5 or 6.
We both hit individual picks in the first half of the season. Yeah. Our individual
our combined as a podcast entry for the people has not been successful.
No, it hasn't. And it's been me several of the weeks, and
it's been you several of the weeks. But anyway, Jake, it's tough because you know what? What's really funny about this? I have more success on the all-in horns entries than I do my own entries all the time.
I'm the opposite.
I'll go. I'll put in a 3-leg entry of, say, just example. This is not what I put in, but Longhorns with the spread, Arch with higher than 22 rushing yards, and Gunnar Stockton with a rushing touchdown. I'll get one of the 3 right almost every time, but I'll never get 3. I'll never get all 3. I've been so bad on trying to get an actual full leg parlay, or entry put in. It's been bad. So anyway, Jake, we have good recruiting news for the Texas Longhorns. On the football side of things, 2026 tight end Charlie Gillick flips from Minnesota to Texas. Now, he was previously flipped from UCF to Minnesota. So within his recruiting, he has flipped twice already. Now, they've been upgrades, I would imagine, upgrades at every single level. USF to Minnesota, I would consider that an upgrade. And then from Minnesota to Texas, obviously a huge upgrade. And so, yeah, I mean, I would consider that a good thing. But, Texas needs some tight end help. That was one thing that I complained about in our immediate reaction on Saturday, was how bad the tight ends were. So, you know what? Let's go all in on tight ends if need be, if that's what's going to help this offense succeed. I'm all for getting more talent at that position.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got distracted. Chris Del Conte just had a post on X.
Oh, okay.
Quote tweeting the Desmond Howard video, the exact Desmond Howard post, and said, "This is news to me. Thanks for the insight."
Okay.
So Chris Del Conte has made a comment on it, which means it's made its waves through the Texas athletic
department. Can I while we were on that topic, I never brought it up. When I first immediately heard it, I thought it was the dumbest take of the year. When I first immediately heard it. Now, there is smoke, a lot of smoke, and I think the conversation needs to be had, but I don't think I ever actually went out and said, when I initially heard it, I was like, where is he even coming? Where would this information be available to him? Now, I know he knows people. He's on the insides, all this, that, and the other. But Desmond Howard also not just this breaking news. You talked about how he's not a hot take guy. He's also not just Adam Schefter of breaking news when it comes to
Yeah.
college football news.
It's just an odd one to come. Like, it's an odd. I've never seen him like post something like this, and so it's just kind of weird to see. Oh, and Del Conte also posted it on several hours ago. He actually responded to it on Instagram as well. So this has made its waves through the athletic department for him to be responding to it.
I mean, Desmond Howard, dude, he's been on College Game Day for a decade plus now. I mean, he has a voice inside the college football, world. And so it coming from a guy like that, it does carry a little bit of weight, regardless if it's true or not, or he has any valid sources of where it's coming from.
Yeah. But, my initial thought was no way. And then I went, this is concerning to me, just that, we just keep hearing it. And for me, it's like now I'm ready to get to the end of the season and hopefully just this stuff get, just shut down, put under the rug.
I don't know how many more years you can extend him. You've extended him, I think, twice now?
He's not getting an extension after this year. I mean, if they won a national title, yeah, you extend him again. Why not? But with this year, the season not being a good season, he hasn't earned in any type of additional extension to the, what he's deservingly gotten the last couple of years. But yeah, I'm ready for this stuff to get shut down. The only way that's going to happen is with the end of the season. And I mean, quite frankly, I think most of us are just kind of ready for the end of this season at this point. And I guess that's a compliment to what Steve Sarkisian has set the bar at for Texas football now. A 9-3 season will not feel in any way satisfying. Whereas we would have kind of killed for 9 wins, 5-6 years ago.
Absolutely.
So the changes happened quick, but that bar is there now. And so there's going to be I will say one thing, and this will come from both you and I, and obviously the rest of the fan base that already wants him gone, apparently, is there's going to be a lot of pressure on the 2026 season, and as there should be.
Yeah.
They have to not only make the playoffs, but make a run in the playoffs. You got to take advantage of what I imagine is going to be the best quarterback play we've seen at Texas in a very long time come next season, as we've seen Arch get better and better and the game slow down. Rewatching that Georgia game, I was just very impressed with Arch Manning. I thought most of his passes were on target. He had very little errant throws. He moved around the pocket really well. And there's an interesting stat posted by Nash Talks Texas on X. The everything all happens on X. And it was Arch Manning on target percentage when throwing past the line of scrimmage. And so on target percentage to me is like the most advanced stat we have to accurately measure a QB's accuracy, because it's fixing it. It's adding in drops, right? And so it's not your completion percentage, obviously, but it's how often were you on target? And you look at Arch's season, I'm just going to run through it. This is his on target percentage when throwing past the line of scrimmage. And I'll have another stat for you here in a minute on throws 5+ yards past the line of scrimmage. But this is just for throwing past the line of scrimmage. Ohio State, 54.2%. San Jose, 55%. UTEP, 44%. Sam Houston, 73%. Florida, 58%. OU, 69%. Kentucky, worst game of the year, 41%. Since Kentucky, Mississippi State, 78. Vanderbilt, 74. Georgia, 72.4. And so now we're starting to see consistent, performances from him. When throwing 5 or more yards downfield, the Kentucky game, 69 was his highest going into this last 3-game stretch against Sam Houston. Then he had OU at 62.5. Everything else was 50 or below for the season, until Mississippi State, just about 80%. Vanderbilt, just about 79%. And then Georgia, just above 68%.
Yeah.
And that's on target percentage when throwing 5 yards or more past the line of scrimmage. So we've noticed his play visibly getting better, but it's nice to see stats like that are showing just how much more accurate he's been. Also, just not bulleting. If you remember the start of the year, just every throw, he was just ripping it.
Oh,
just
yeah.
trying to throw at 1,000 miles per hour. A lot more balls with touch on it now. He is building up to be the quarterback that all the hype was there for at the start of the year, and being a guy that's going to be in New York next year. Whether he wins the Heisman or not, whatever, I think he will be in New York next year, assuming he's at Texas and Sarkisian's still there and nothing, catastrophic happens with the Texas
he
football
could be in
program.
New York with not being at the University of Texas.
I don't like to think about that. Yeah,
Just
at
saying,
Georgia or
be.
something, and it just Let's assume the best.
Yeah, we'll assume the best. All right. We'll end the show off with this. We talked about the Charlie Gillick commit from or the flip for the 2026 class from tight end. In basketball news, 5-star guard forward Austin Gooseby, brother of Trevor Gooseby, 6'5", 185, commits to Texas over Duke, BYU, and Baylor. Huge news for Sean Miller and company.
Yeah, getting him over Duke and BYU, which BYU, for those of you who don't know, they are a force to be reckoned with in the NIL world, especially in basketball. They're putting a lot of money into basketball. They're one of the best teams in the country this year in basketball.
Which you and I, we've talked about, Jake. You're going to get programs like a BYU, very similar, that are going to commit all their NIL resources to basketball, where they're like, well, we're probably never going to win a national championship in football, but basketball, we definitely can win a national championship. So let's allocate all those funds to that athletic or to that sport. And you're already seeing it pay off because BYU already one of the best teams in college basketball and got the #1 recruit last year.
Yeah, and he's a stud as well. I watched a little bit of that BYU UConn game the other day. Very entertaining game.
Yeah.
UConn actually ended up winning by 2, but this is a big win. Anytime you're getting a recruit over Duke, and now BYU in the modern day, it's a big time get.
Baylor.
Yeah, Baylor. I mean, they've won a national championship recently in basketball. It's just a big time commitment. Also, hopefully it means we can get the other Gooseby to stay on campus for one more year for Texas football. I would certainly like that. Also tells you that he was probably positively recruiting him, enjoying his experience at Texas. So I think that's a good thing as well. But also just a really good player. Go check out his tape on YouTube. And I think he's going to fit well into Sean Miller's system, probably be an impact player right away. And a really just big, huge, I know, Sean Miller's gotten another recruit or two, but this is like the big marquee win for him in recruiting.
Yeah. We haven't seen this yet.
To kind of get his recruiting profile at Texas, starting to get that up. And so, a big time get for the Texas basketball program. And I think you and I are both excited, especially with football kind of starting to wind down, not being the season we hoped, are both very excited about basketball season and what this Texas team could do on the court this year, and what Sean Miller is doing to building blocks for the incoming years.
Texas plays Rider later tonight. So if you want to watch that game, or if you're interested in tuning in, what else are you going to do on a Tuesday night? I don't know. Watch Texas versus Rider. But Texas surely will come away with a victory tonight, and looking forward to what they do in the remainder. Following the Thanksgiving break, going into the Maui Invitational, that'll also be kind of another, I don't know, just a very good litmus test going into SEC play with teams like Arizona State that you're going to be playing in the Maui Invitational. So anyway, I think Boise State also in the Maui Invitational this year, so that might be a team that you could possibly play in March Madness. They've made it to March the last couple of years. So with all that being said, Jake and I are very excited for basketball, excited that we will be here throughout basketball season. Off-season talks for football are going to start ramping up probably a little earlier than what we're accustomed to. But we also still have big games against Arkansas and Texas A&M coming up to at least end the season out. So with all that, I'm Tanner Carlson. That's Jake Jimerson. This is All in Horns, presented to you by Rogue Sports Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, ladies and gentlemen, hook 'em.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.